Let us pray. Jehovah, Jesus Christ, Holy Michael. Lónìí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ rẹ nítorí òtítọ́ ìfẹ́ rẹ fún wa gbọ̀pẹ́gbà yín wa. À ń súnmọ́ láti gbọ́rọ̀ rẹ àní láti mọ ẹ̀rí rẹ ní ti òdodo ìfẹ́ rẹ ní ti ayé wa. Fi ìmọ́lẹ̀ ràn fún wa. Kí orúkọ rẹ kó di àyìn lógo. Lórúkọ Jésù náà. This day we want to talk about the topic, God of Covenant. God of the Covenant. Ọlọ́run májẹ̀mú. Like the interpretation will say. When we say God and we say covenant, let's begin this way. Saying God for who God is. God is the maker of heaven and earth and all that is in them. Who chose to be in heaven and give the earth to be an inheritance to the children of men? God. This is a God that has made all things by and for himself. And none of those things is a non-living thing. Everything he made is a living thing. They are alive. The skies, the stones, the mountains, the rocks, the waters, everything. When you say God, that's the purest definition, the greatest definition for God, who made all things in heaven and on earth, and he chose the heaven to. He said in Isaiah 6, he said, "Heaven is my place, and the earth is my footstool. Which house will you build for me? I have my place already." Who is there?
So said the Lord, the heaven is my throne.
The heaven is my throne.
And the earth is my footstool.
The earth is my footstool.
Where is the house that ye built unto me?
Where is the house you built to me?
And where is the place of my rest?
And the place of my rest.
For all those things has my hand
Heaven
made.
is my throne. I made all things. And I choose a place for myself. But I gave the sons of men to inhabit the earth. I gave them to be on the earth. But not just to be on the earth, but to be an inheritor. Because we want to talk about two things in one. God of covenant. God and covenant. So we'll join it together and we'll make it so obvious and make it one. Heaven is my throne. That will mean for him to have a throne, he must be a king. Hence, in making man, he said, "Let us make man." Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
And God said,
"Let
us make man in our image.
Let us make man in our image,
after our likeness.
And
let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
And let them have dominion, rulership. Let their domain extend over the fish of the sea,
and over the fowl of the air,
and
over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth."
So, a king is giving dominion unto the prince. Man becoming the prince of that God. Psalm 115 verse 16 says, "The heavens," who is there?
Even the heavens
are
the Lord's.
They are the Lord's.
But the earth
has
he given to the children of men.
He gave to the sons of men. The one that chose to be in heaven after creating all things, like Genesis said in chapter 1 verse 1, God created the heavens and the earth. He created the heavens and the earth and all that is therein, and he chose to be in heaven for his throne and gave an inheritance to the sons of men, and that is the earth. But he chose that everything he will make must be living, must be alive. So he has no connection with the dead. Ọlọ́run fẹ́ kí ohun gbogbo tó ń dá kó wà láàyè. Òun Ọlọ́run ìwà láàyè, òun Ọlọ́run ààyè. And he chose that everything, gbogbo tí mo bá dá pátá ló gbọ́dọ̀ ní ìpín bó ti kó kéré tó. A fragment of him must be in all things. And that fragment of him is the life. Now let's put that aside. Let's come to covenant. When we say covenant, we talk about the power that positions anyone to partake in as a partner. A power of positioning. Covenant. Covenant never began with God. It began with command. Covenant was born after man lost the path of God. It was not an original thing. It did not come into it with man from the beginning. It chose, I'll command you. I'll give an instruction to you. Every instruction of God is a command. That's why Genesis chapter 2 will say in verse 15, 16. And God brought the man.
And the Lord God took the man.
He took the man.
And put him into the garden of Eden.
Put him into the garden of Eden to dress
and
it.
To keep it.
And keep it.
And the Lord God commanded the man.
Every instruction from God, it was a command. And God said, let there be light. That was a command. And God said, let the earth bring forth. It was a command. And he said, let the waters be filled. That was a command. And when he brought forth man, the only medium he could give an instruction to man, being who he is as God, the king over all, he said, I'll give him a command. What was the command? And the Lord God commanded the man, saying,
of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil,
but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil,
thou shalt not eat
you shall not eat of it.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof,
in the day you eat thereof,
thou shalt surely die.
That's a command, not a covenant. The whole earth was given to man originally when there was the life of God in man by a command. Until man fell and became dead. Until there was a disconnection. And the disconnection problem caused man to be cut off from God. Nítorí ìrìn àjò yẹn ènìyàn di ẹni ìyapa sí Ọlọ́run, ó di aṣòdì, ó di ẹni tí Ọlọ́run kò jọ bí ọmọ mọ́. God made man to be his son. Luke chapter 3, the last two verses, from 23, there was the reckoning of the genealogy of Jesus. Anka ìrìn àjò ìran Jésù. When you get to the last verse, Luke chapter 3.
Which was the son of Canaan?
Canaan.
Which was the son of Aphasad?
Aphasad.
Which was the son of Sem?
Sem.
Which was the son of Noah?
Noah.
Which was the son of Lamech?
Yes.
Which was the son of Methuselah? Which was the son of Enoch?
Benny.
Which was the son of Jared?
Yes.
Which was the son of Melian?
Yes.
Which was the son of Canaan? Which was the son of Enos? Which was the son of Seth?
Yes.
Which was the son of Adam?
Yes.
Which was the son of God?
Adam, the son of God. Ọlọ́run it was a line. Jesus from 23 says what?
And Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age.
He was about 30 years of age.
Being as was supposed.
The
son of Joseph.
The son of Joseph.
Which was son of Eli.
Son of Eli.
Which was son of Mattat.
Mattat.
Which was son of Levi.
Like that. So it was giving, God gave the whole earth by command to man. Until man fell. Èèyàn ṣubú kúrò, ó di ọmọ ìyapa. Láàrin èèyàn àtọlọ́run, ẹni tí kò ní ìyè, whoever does not have the life of God. We all have breath and me, but we may not be alive to God. A lot of people have the breath to breathe. But being alive to God is another thing entirely. So before you get a portion of the covenant, you must be brought back to life. And that portion of the covenant for heritage will be given. So I mean, that portion is given by the covenant. God chose the first man he will enter into covenant with was Abraham. The covenant of Noah was I'll put my rainbow upstairs, and that was the covenant of the world. But he came to an individual. Let me have a covenant with you. You will be the person in the covenant. You are the person in the covenant. In Genesis chapter 17, God was talking to Abraham. So let's see how the play went. From verse 1.
And when Abraham was 90 years old
yes.
and 9, the Lord appeared unto Abraham.
God appeared to him.
And said unto him,
Happy birthday to you, Abraham.
I'm the Lord Almighty God.
But God this time came and said, I am the
Almighty God.
Almighty God.
Walk before me.
And
be thou perfect.
Be thou perfect.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
This is the thing. I'll make my covenant between me and you.
And will multiply thee exceedingly.
In order to multiply you exceedingly.
And Abraham fell on his face.
As at this time, Abraham was not yet an obedient follower of God. As at this time, yes, he was a follower of God, but he had two-third obedience. He had this human side, he had this cautious side. I need to be, God is in heaven, I'm on earth. I need to take caution. I need to reason with men. I need to know how they think, how they will feel when I am instructed. I need to see their responses. Abraham had a lot of things around him for infirmities and frailties. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló yí ká. Kó tó gbọ́ sọ́nà lẹ́nu kí ni lágbájá máa wí. Báwo lélẹ́yìn ṣe máa gbà? Kí lélẹ́yìn ṣe máa rò ó? Kò jẹ́ kí ọkọ ẹ̀ jókòó kó lè tẹ̀lé Ọlọ́run. Ìyẹn ló mú àìpé wá nínú àjò. That was the reason for his imperfection. So when God said, walk before me and be thou perfect. What is God saying? Imperfection. James chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Precisely verse 2. James chapter 3. The Bible says,
My
brethren,
be not as masters.
Be not all masters.
Knowing that we shall receive a great condemnation.
Yes.
For in many things we offend all.
We offend in many things.
If any man offend not in word.
If any man offend not in words.
The same is a perfect man.
Pure. Very simple. Whoever does not offend in words. The same is a perfect man. And he's able to...
And able also to bridle the whole body.
To bridle the whole body. So when God was talking to Abraham and saying, walk before me and be perfect, God was saying, don't come to error in words. From the beginning, God said, leave your land, leave your kindred, leave your father's house. Abraham, error in word. He left his land, he left his people, he did not leave his father's house. He took Lot along. God took his name away from the inheritance deed, the deed of inheritance. You cannot inherit me if you are not perfect, diligently hearkening to my voice and following what I said. God so much, whoever will come into covenant will learn to be diligent in obedience. Genesis chapter 12, God said, leave.
Now the Lord has said unto Abraham,
yes,
get thee out of thy country,
your country,
and from thy kindred,
your kindred,
and from thy father's
your
house,
father's house,
unto a land that I will shew thee.
To a land I will show you.
And I will make of thee a great nation.
I'll give you 7 things. He took 3 away from him. His country, his kindred, his father's house. He said, I'll make of thee a great nation.
And I will bless thee.
Bless thee.
And make thy name great.
Make your name great.
And thou shalt be a blessing.
You'll be a blessing.
And I'll bless them that bless thee.
I'll bless those who bless you.
And curse him that curseth
Curse
thee.
those who curse you.
And in thee shall all the families of the earth
All the
be
families
blessed.
of the earth shall be blessed. Yes. Go to verse 5 now.
And Abraham took Sarah his wife.
He took Sarah his wife.
And Lot his brother's son.
That is his father's house. He took Sarah his wife. He took Lot his brother's son.
And all their substance that they had gathered.
And all they gathered.
And the souls that they had gotten in Aran.
Yes.
And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan.
Yes.
And into the land of Canaan they came.
They came. Verse 7.
And the Lord appeared unto Abraham.
The Lord appeared unto him.
And said.
Unto
thy seed will I give this land.
I won't give you, Abraham. I'll give your seed. Why? You were not obedient. You're not diligent to the words I said. And it shall come to pass, Deuteronomy said, if you would diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord your God. Perfection is about diligence in obedience. He said, whosoever would not offend in words. God gave 3 instructions, 3 commands. Get out your father's house, get out your kindred, get out your country. He got out of his country, he got out of his kindred, but he was not ready to leave his father's house. 2/3 in equation, obedience. And God took his name away from the deed of the inheritance. You are not qualified to inherit me. So when you talk covenant, God was interested, he was looking for somebody to inherit him. Only an inheritor comes into covenants. So covenant is not just, look at the way they do it in the world. Between me and you, we want to get into a business. There is something for us to, there is something accruable in the business. For us to divide the lots, let's get into a covenant. A man wants to be in a relationship with a man and say, let's get into a covenant. That's not the way to covenant. All those ones are just mere child's play, and then they are trying to make promises. If you leave me, let this happen. If I would leave you, I will not leave you. Those are cheap words, mere words. So they now cut themselves and bring blood and put it on themselves and say, we put it in our mouth. You must not leave me. The words are mere words, but the blood becomes covenant. As I said, the power that positions you to partake as a partner, that's covenant. You come into, God is ready to come into covenant with only the inheritor. The covenant of God is not for all. It's not because you know how to pray. You are in covenant with God. This is a God that cannot come into error. God that cannot, he can't make mistakes. So for God to see somebody and say, it is you, he knows, he was sure by the making, according to creation, that this person would never fail. That's about God. The one that has everybody in his script. He knows your play out. You know, Obonto Fesh, Omonto Manda. Reto Salmo, Bito Majasi. A lot of people are ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sorry, Mumaga, Mumadoke, Kontodoke, one shepa, Tripe, Kosinu, Tolorun so. Niti. Man will build the Tower of Babel in the script of God. Nobody will build and it will get to heaven. No building will get to heaven. It would fail and fall. And God said, these people are coming together. Let's scatter them. And they left the thing like that. Man's concept cannot overturn God's principles. So Abraham, God saw an inheritor in him. That's why I came with that one. I'll bless those who bless you, and I'll curse those who curse you. Noah, God in Genesis chapter 9 already blessed the household of Noah.
And God blessed Noah.
He blessed Noah.
And his sons.
And his sons.
And said unto them,
he said,
be fruitful.
Be fruitful.
And multiply.
And multiply.
And replenish.
But when he got to verse 21, Noah began to curse.
And Noah began to be an husbandman.
Yes.
And he planted a vineyard.
Yes.
And he drank of the wine. And was drunken.
Yes.
And he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father.
23.
And Shem and Japheth took a garment.
Yes.
And laid it upon their shoulders.
Yes.
And went backward. And covered the nakedness of their father.
Yes.
And their faces were backward. And they saw not their father's nakedness.
Yes.
And Noah awoke from his wine. And knew what his younger son had done unto him.
He knew.
And he said, cursed be Canaan.
Cursed be the one that God blessed.
A servant of servants shall he be unto
you. No wonder. The God that will not make mistakes, he did not enter into that covenant with Noah. He saw Noah for a covenant of the people. I'll put my bow in the clouds. When I see it, it will remind me, not you. It's not about you. It's about me. A suspended covenant that relates to God and God alone. That's the covenant of the rainbow. It does not concern you. When I'm getting angry, I'm getting frustrated by your attitude, I'll put my bow in the air. It will restrain me from my anger towards you. But I don't need a caretaker. I need an inheritor. An inheritor. Hence, God came and saw one who will be for him, out of whom he will produce a generation of inheritors. Even after Christ, the Gentiles became partakers of the same blessings of Abraham. Because God had one inheritor, out of whom will come all other inheritors. Isaiah 51, he told Jesus, he said, listen to me. Listen, I want you to hear this.
Yes.
From 1.
Hearken unto me.
Yes.
Ye that follow after righteousness.
Yes.
Ye that seek the Lord.
Yes.
Look unto the rock whence thou art.
Look to the rock. Those who, 1, follow after righteousness. 2, those who seek the Lord. Look unto the rock. Yes.
Whence ye are hewn.
Where you are hewn.
And to the whole of the pit.
The whole of the pit.
Whence ye are digged.
Whence you are digged.
Look unto Abraham your father.
To Abraham your father.
And not to Sarah that bare you.
To Sarah that bare you.
For I called him alone.
I called only him.
And blessed him.
And blessed him.
And increased him.
And increased him. God did not say out of Moses shall the generation of the earth be blessed. He gave one man. Even David, the man after his heart, was born under the same covenant of Abraham. God is looking for the inheritor. Because the devil took man, a slave, in death. From Genesis, when man fell. And God is saying, no, there will be a remnant for that man. That's why I told the serpent, I'll put enmity between you and this woman, and between your seed and her seed. Your seed would only bruise the heel, but our seed will break your head. And when the head is broken, there is no more life. God's intention was to destroy the covenant of death, so as to restore and give back to man that inherited portion of him. I'll give life. No that you hear Jesus saying, blessed are these, they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are the meek, they shall inherit the earth. Those who are righteous and they seek the Lord. He said, look at Abraham, your father. And look at Sarah, out of whom you came. The remnants. The seed of the woman. So God called Abraham. But Abraham had to turn obedience. And God began to take him through the process. He took away in the lines. As soon as you have not a complete obedience, then it shows you have offended in words. You are not liable to be a partaker of the covenant of your life. But see chapter 13. And verse 14. Something happened there.
And the Lord said unto Abraham.
God said to Abraham.
After that Lord was separated from him.
After the separation with his father's house. The total separation with his father's house.
Lift up now thy eyes.
Lift up now your eyes.
And look from the place where thou
look from where you are. Northward.
And
southward.
And
eastward.
And
westward.
For all the land which thou seest.
All that you see.
To thee will I give it.
One, I'll give it to you.
And to thy seed forever.
And to your seed. Now you became a partaker. Now he's alive. His obedience is complete. That's why I said, you must be alive before God comes into covenant with you. It does not enter into covenant with the dead. That's why David always say, the dead cannot praise you. Because he had no bearing with anybody that is dead. God does not want to concern himself. If you want to be a partaker with God, you will first be alive to God. You will be dead to sin, dead to human, dead to natural. Don't begin to give God excuses. Actually, mo fẹ́ ṣe náà ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tí mo tún wá wo nǹkan táwọn èèyàn máa sọ. Ó wù mí ṣe náà ṣùgbọ́n àwọn aráalé wa wọ́n ní jẹ́ kí n ṣe. God will say, I am not interested in this type of person. I need somebody who would be for me, attentive to me, would walk with me, and me alone. The one that desires my voice at all times. Who is eager to accomplish what I say? I say, go that way. He's not ready to look at the pros and cons of that thing. He wants to go. I say, walk this way. It's not ready to say, that way. Excuse me, sir. Ọ̀nà yẹn kò ń ṣọ̀nà tó da náà títí tabaníkà wo ẹ̀rí àwọn kìíní yẹn ń bẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀rí. He believes I am totally right. He trusts my judgment. Ẹni tó gbẹ́kẹ̀lé ohun tí mo bá sọ, tó gbẹ́kẹ̀lé mi, tó mọ̀ pé mo fẹ́ òun mi ò fẹ́ pa òun, mo fẹ́ fòun ṣògo, ẹni mò ń wá. And God did not make two covenants with the whole generation of man, except the covenant of Abraham. The covenant of Abraham. Every man that will be alive to God, that will come with God, that will be aligned with God, would only come and partake in one covenant. The covenant of Abraham. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The journey of covenant, like I said, as soon as Abraham began to become alive, he became a partaker. His name was in the deed. It was rewritten. Àti yọkù mbẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ àdápadà síbẹ̀ fún. Tòró ti mú ọ̀rọ̀ ṣe Ọlọ́run kì í ṣèké. Many of us, wọ́n ní kò kú òǹbí, ó kú òǹbẹ̀. Ìjọ́ tó kú òǹbẹ̀ á tún mú ẹ padà sí ọ̀rẹ́ ìwọ ló yàn. Iye ọjọ́ tó mú ẹ kó fi ọmọ tó wà. They gave you an instruction. Ìwọ kò gbọ́ ṣe yìí. Hope wà tó bá yí padà tó bá ṣe ń ta ní kò ṣe. Tó bá kọ́ ń ta ní kò kọ̀ sílẹ̀. But when you choose to say, God understands. No matter how prayerful you can be, you can sing praises. You know, you will deceive yourself today. When you praise God, God inhabits the praises of his people. God, don't confuse yourself. When he says his people, those who seek him, those who are righteous, those in whom truth stands. David was an example of that praise order. He will praise God. Yes. But there was a time he thought praises can rob God of the truth. God said only the priest that is consecrated can bear the ark. Then we put the ark on the new cart and said, move. And so 2 people were steering the ship. And as they went, the calf stumbled. And the ark was about to fall off. And Uzzah put forth his hand and helped God. And God slew him until David went and checked the records. And God said, except that you will follow this order. Oh, I love God. Chronicles chapter 15. Let's see what God said. What David said. Go to verse 9.
Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and his brethren 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief, and his brethren 112. And David called for Zadok,
Yes.
the Abiathar, the priest, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab, and said unto them,
He said,
ye are the chief of the fathers.
You are the chiefs of the fathers of the Levites.
Sanctify yourselves,
Sanctify yourselves,
both ye and your brethren,
you and your brethren,
that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord God of
that
Israel,
you may bring the ark of the God of Israel
unto the place
that I have prepared for it.
For because ye did it not as at the first,
Because you did not do that at the first,
the Lord our God made a breach upon us.
God made a breach upon us.
For that we sought him not after the due order.
I love that area. We sought him not after the due order. God is a God that cannot change. Put it to your spirit. It's a God. When he says A today, that A will last lifetime. It's not a God that says A today and then come tomorrow and say, actually that A is not standing the test of time, you know. I've realized Let that A be J. J. What, do you agree with it? I think you go with it. Okay, we agree. J. That is not God. It's a God that stands to say A now. And that A will continue to eternity, because that word that came out of his mouth has his life. And his life is, David said in Psalm 91, in Psalm 90, he said, from eternity to eternity, you are God. That's Psalm 90. From everlasting to everlasting, you are not changing. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So don't be deceived to say when you praise God, God can. No. Put that aside. When we talk about inheritance, we talk about covenant. Covenant is in a bid. God came into covenant in a bid to possess man and give unto man the lost inheritance. So until you become God's possession, it's not ready to give what is his to you. Hence every adoption. Because every adopted child, when it's time for the dividing of the inheritance, will have their names in the will. They are part of the man. The Israelites were the true sons by Abraham. All other mankind that came into that promise were adopted. You don't preach adoption to Israelites. We were adopted to become partaker in the covenant. They have the covenant. When you say the Old Testament, that's the Old Covenant. It's totally for the Israelites. The New Testament is a book of adoption of the Gentiles. We, the household of the Gentiles, into the system by the same covenant. Now, because Abraham began to obey fully, God put his name back in the deed and said, I'll get into the business with you. And then he came and told God, you did not give me a son. And they began the game. Until God says, Abraham, all this inconsistency cannot work with you. It can't go. Leave those things to me. When you are in covenant with me, don't be bothered about those things. That's why Jesus came and told the Jews and the Gentiles in his days. He said, seek him first the kingdom and his righteousness. All other things shall be added. I need a child. I need a house. I need a car. I need a wife. I need to travel. I need this. All other things. But you know, when we are in covenant with God, we are quick to say, we need this. We want to use those things to glorify God. We want to use. I need car so that it will glorify God. I need a jet in order to show the glory of God. I need a mansion for people to say I glorify God. God, we begin to seek after all other things, not the righteousness and the kingdom. And by that, you lose the covenant. So God told Abraham, walk before me and be thou perfect. Make no error. Offend not in the words. Then I will establish my covenant. How would I do the covenant? And what is the need? From verse 7, Genesis 17.
And I will establish my covenant between me.
I will establish my covenant between me
and thee
and you.
and thy seed after thee.
It extends. And thy seed after you. You know, in the deed of the covenant, of the inheritance, he said to your descendant first. And then when Abraham's obedience was complete, he said to you and to your seed after you. Now he said that covenant will be between me and you and
Thy seed after thee.
Your seed after you.
In their generations.
In all their generations.
For an everlasting covenant.
It shall be a permanent covenant.
To be a God unto thee. And thy seed after thee.
This is the line of the covenant. I want to be a God to you. And to your seed after you. Yes?
And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger.
Did you see it?
And all the land of Canaan.
If you get the lines there, I'll give unto you the land. Which land is that?
Wherein thou art a stranger.
Wherein you are a stranger. Where is the land wherein you are a stranger? Where is the land? On earth. But I will add tenant to it. He said, and.
All the land of Canaan.
Did he say and?
No.
He said, I'll give to you the land
wherein thou art a stranger.
Yes.
All the land of Canaan.
1.
For an everlasting possession.
2. I'll give the earth to you. All the land of Canaan, I'll give to you for an everlasting possession. What does that mean? You are mine. I first possess you in order to give to you. And that is the line of the covenant. The God that had all things, made all things, and was ready to say, I'll give this to you because I have you. That's a God of covenant. If I don't have you, we are good. Everybody has the Bible. Many people read the Bible very tediously. Many people have crammed the Bible. So you can go and say, God, you said in your word according to Isaiah 58, God does not have Isaiah 58 in heaven. Let me make you know that. Because Isaiah took out of the script of heaven. There was no chapter for Isaiah there. Isaiah was a prophet that was sent a fragment of the script. So you don't tell God, you said in Isaiah 58, God did not say so. The people who canonize your Bible put it in chapters. God did not put it in chapters. You said in Isaiah 50, you have said according to what in Jeremiah chapter, he did not say so. Telling your word said. He knows what his word said. That's why the devil did not tell Jesus. He has said in Psalm. He said in David that he would tell his angel, send his angel, they will bear you up. You will not stumble. He didn't say so. He said, Jesus said, it is written. They began to talk about that which is written. The devil brought up that which is written. Shebi he said. Jesus brought that which is written. So, God that possessed you first, in order to give you what he has as an inheritance, is the God of covenants. So when you bring the two together, the God of covenants, you are looking at a power of positioning because you are his. That's what he told Abraham first. I want to be your God and the God of your descendants, so that I will give you what I have. Read on.
And the land wherein thou art a stranger, and all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
Yes.
And God said unto Abraham,
he now said,
thou shalt keep my covenant therefore.
Keep my covenant.
Thou and thy seed after thee.
Have you noticed? He did not tell Noah, keep my covenant. Did you see it? He never told Noah, keep my covenant. The first person, the only person, because God doesn't make mistakes. The first and only person, he gave the covenant. He knew in the end, I am going to bring in the Gentiles to myself. But he said, for in thee, you alone, shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. He was not looking for another person to say, you will be the covenant man for the Gentiles. No. No. Just one. The covenant of Abraham. That is the God we talk about. That is the God who knew the end from the beginning. That's a God that cannot fail. As long as there is the covenant, he's a God that loves his children. He loves his own. That's why we say, I know my people, my sheep are my sheep. I know them first. And the method or the way of his knowing is different from the way of our knowing. How does he know them? John chapter 10, from verse 25. Let's listen.
Jesus answered them.
He answered them.
I told you, and you believed not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me.
Yes.
But you believe not.
You believe not.
Because you are not of my sheep.
Because you are not of my sheep.
As I said unto you.
As I said to you.
My sheep hear my voice.
My sheep hears my voice.
And I know them.
That's all. So for you to be in covenant, for him to know you, the voice, you must not offend in words. You don't play with what he said. You don't interchange what he said. I think, some of us, we see things open and bare before our very eyes. And then we say, I thought it was this one. I assume I should do. You have the instruction. Those who live by assumption, by thinking. That's why I said my thinking, my thoughts are not your thoughts. As far as the heaven is from the earth, so far is my thought from yours. The God of the covenant is the God that knows the end from the beginning. He knows what he's saying. He has his choice. In the covenant, there are promises. Covenant is the tree that has the roots. Promises are the branches that has the fruits. Did you get it? Covenant is the tree that has the roots, while promises are the branches onto which the fruits are hung. But when he was talking to the Gentiles in Ephesians chapter 2, he said, when you were away, when you were alienated, from verse 11, let me hear something.
Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh.
In the time past, Gentiles in the flesh.
Who are called uncircumcision.
Called uncircumcised.
By that which is called the circumcision of the flesh, made by hands. That at the time you were without Christ.
You were those who are not in covenant. One, without Christ.
Being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
Alienated from the commonwealth of Israel.
And strangers from the covenant of promise.
Did you see it? Strangers from the
covenant of promise.
What is it? Covenant of promise.
Having no hope.
Having no hope.
And without God in the world.
Without God in the world. You see it? God is the what do I call it? He's the author. Òun ló pilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ májẹ̀mú, ó gbé ìlérí kalẹ̀, ó gbé májẹ̀mú kalẹ̀. Láti fi hàn wípé èmi ẹni tó jẹ́ tèmi ni mo fẹ́ bá jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ máa ṣeré bọ̀ kí n mọ̀ ẹ́. God loves to play with you first in order to know you. And Yorùbá will say ìdílé láti mú tọ́. When he was playing with the children of Israel in Deuteronomy chapter 8, he told them, he said, remember all the way I took you through, because I want to know you. Verse 3.
And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God had led thee
these 40 years
in the wilderness, to humble thee.
He wants to humble you.
And to prove thee.
He wants to prove you.
And to know what was in thy heart.
To know what is in your heart.
Whether thou wouldest keep his commandments.
Whether you will keep my commands.
Or no.
Or you will not.
And he humbled thee.
Yes.
And suffered thee to hunger.
Yes.
And feed thee with manna. Which thou knowest not. Neither did thy fathers know. That he might make thee know.
He wants you to, this is the reason, the purpose for all this he took you through.
That man does not live by bread only.
Some people, when they get through a lot of diverse obstacles or situations, instead of them to look for knowledge, they'll stand in complaint. All the problems you are having, that surrounds you, all the reasons for you not following God, all the excuses you have for standing alone on earth and being in want and lack, they are all pointers to one thing: knowledge. But until you dig unto God, you cannot know them. He said, I did all these things in order to make you know. What is that thing?
That man does not live by bread only.
That you only have to be by every word that comes out
but
of
by
the
every
mouth,
word that proceeded out of the mouth of the
and
Lord.
not by what
does
you
man
see.
live.
You only have to live by what came out of me. Not what you think, not what you see, not what people say, not what you assume. But Christians today, we live by all these simple gesticulation. We live by reasoning. You want to use your senses to calculate God. As it is, God, as I'm seeing this thing, God is not the imaginary God. That's not God. You can't bring God into that atmosphere. Elijah tried to walk God into imagination. The Bible says God was not there. He has known, he knew that God would always be in fire. He read Moses. But God said, don't imagine me being in fire. He knew God would be in the wild wind. He knew the causes, the way God moves in his journey. God said, no, that's still imagination. It's not about what you know. It's like it's about what I choose to do. It's about my choice. Not what you think. And before you know it, God showed you, I am not in all these things. Elijah would never have thought that God could come in that stillness, in the atmosphere of the still small voice. And God said, as big as I am, I can be in anything. Because like I told you, he created all things. And none of his creation does not have life. Not one. All that he created are living. Not one is a non-living thing. Look for whatever he created. He has placed himself for him to. That's his signature on what he created. He puts himself as a fragment into that thing. His signature is on all that he made. Ọlọ́run táwọn sọ kì í ṣe Ọlọ́run tí ọ̀mí ń ṣeré. You want to be partaker with him, you must learn to follow what he says. Kò fẹ́ kó bá òun ṣeré, kò fẹ́ kó máa ó fẹ́ mú ẹ̀rìn ṣùgbọ́n kó tó mú ẹ̀rìn ó fẹ́ mọ̀ ẹ́. Most of us, we are not committed to God. We are committed to men, races, duties. I was telling somebody, I said, you need to be committed to your sons and be diligent in your duties. When you put commitment to your duties, you will lose your sons. And then you would only go a little far. You will not get to the peak of the journey. Some people will drive you down. And if you are not careful, if you are not wise, you won't run back to your source. You will fall off. And then you get tired. You will say, oh, no, come to back and very soon. Amen. So when you talk about the God of covenant, it's a God that stands tall in his imagination. He stands above. Kò lè dí èèyàn ò lè dí. God, the Bible says God is not a man. Why? He was dealing with the children of covenant. Nothing can make him. In covenant is a mess. Read for me. Romans chapter 9. Let's see the things that pertains to covenant, the things that surround covenant, the things that are available. Romans chapter 9, from verse 1.
I say the truth in Christ.
The truth in Christ.
I lie not. My conscience also bearing witness in the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Yes.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren.
For my brethren's sake, yes.
My kinsmen according to the flesh.
Yes.
Who are Israelites.
Yes.
To whom pertained the adoption.
Theirs is the adoption. And I told you, adoption was born in covenant. Yes.
And the glory.
The glory.
And the covenants.
Covenants.
And the giving of the law.
Giving of the law.
And the service of God.
Service of God.
And the promises.
Promises. Yes.
Who are the fathers?
Whose are the fathers?
And of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came.
As concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Who is over all.
Over all.
God blessed forever.
Oh my God.
Amen.
When you say covenant, those are the things that surround covenant. Theirs is adoption. Theirs is the glory. So when you pray for glory and you are not in the covenant, you are on your own. God, glory is not a dash. Come and take. Dash. I tell you, when you talk about glory, you talk about the greater and the lesser. Theirs is the glory. God was in their midst. Balak called Balaam, come and curse them. He said, so their God is in their midst. Nobody can curse them. No enchantment can work in their lives. Theirs is glory. Theirs is adoption. The journey is a very large journey. Ọ̀nà tí Ọlọ́run ń gbà ṣiṣẹ́ ìrìnàjò májẹ̀mú ọ̀nà tó tóbi ni. Ṣùgbọ́n irú àwọn wo ló yẹ nínú májẹ̀mú? Irú àwọn bí bó bá ti jẹ́ ẹni tó mọ̀ eré ìje tó ń sáré lásán. Àwọn tó mọ̀ àwọn tó mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ Romans chapter 8 ọ̀sán ó kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ wọ́n Romans chapter 8 from verse 29. No, from verse 28.
And we know that all things work together for good.
We know that all things work together for good.
To them that love God.
To them who love God.
And to them who are the called according to his purpose.
Oh, are we great?
For whom he did foreknow.
That's the first thing. Those he did foreknow.
He also did predestinate.
He predestinated them.
To be conformed to the image of his son.
So that they will be. I told you, covenant is about, I need an inheritor. When they are conforming to the image of his son, The son, I told you, the relationship between the father and the son is about inheritance. When there is a father and a son, the only thing that the line is bringing forth is an inheritance. Those he did foreknew, he predestinates that they might be conformed to the image of his son. Yes?
That he might be the firstborn among many
Oh,
brethren.
you see, when you say firstborn, he has almost half of the inheritance. And then the remaining divided amongst the rest. But you know what he did? He made all the firstborn. How? He gave us to kill his firstborn. So that he will say, all of us will answer for that one person. In the bid to make all of us the firstborn, we must have to kill his firstborn, his only son. It's his first son. And it's his only son. Kill him. And we agreed all together. We conspired and killed him. And he said, no problem. I will not judge you. For God sent not his son into the world to judge. I won't judge you. As long as one order, you would answer to the name of my firstborn. When I call my firstborn, you say, here I am. You will not be judged. But the moment I say my firstborn and I hear not your voice, you are condemned. I need my firstborn. I have put in my firstborn to do so many great things. But you will do it in his stead. So everything we do, if we are in Christ, we are doing it in the stead of Christ. So when you cheat in the stead of Christ, you are guilty. Because Christ will not cheat. All that you do that is not consistent with the nature of Christ will make you guilty. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Ọ̀rọ̀ náà pọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ká lè kúkùkù. Ká sọ pé when you say Ọlọ́run májẹ̀mú, it's a God that is a possessive God. I want my people. I want my breed. I will take them from death and bring them to life. How? Through my instruction. Jesus said, my sheep hears my voice. And I know them. I know them. They follow me.
And I give unto them eternal life.
I give eternal life to them.
And they shall never perish.
Oh my God. Are you talking about the book of covenant? They shall never perish.
Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Covenant, I told you, it's a power of position. When you are positioned in covenant, that's why God does not just enter into covenant with people. He's not used to that. He must know you first. Let me see who this one is out of many. Okay, you are good. I'll give you a covenant. Out of the covenants. All the sub-covenants. The covenant of Abraham, David, the covenant of Moses, the covenant of Joshua, whatever covenant is in their journey, they are all some covenants. They are covenant that was born out of the journey of Abraham. That's why after he has used all of them, he told them, he said, look unto Abraham. He didn't say, and unto David, and unto Isaac, and unto Moses, and unto... But the Israelites were looking unto Moses. All they think their life is about Moses. It's about Moses. But God said, look unto Abraham, and to Sarah that bore you. For him only I called. And I blessed. títóbi lọ́lọ́run yìí mo fẹ́ jèrè rìn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ for covenant ni máa rìn níwájú mi kó pé tó bá ti rìn ní pípé àápè ẹ̀ sínú májẹ̀mú ẹ̀rí you will give all obedience you will not scheme you will not try to be subtle no subtlety in covenant tó bá ti ń ṣe báyẹn lọ́rùn àti pé eléyìí àtà mi tó bá yá omi ò ní dá sí mi ìfẹ́ dá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ẹ ṣáàjẹ́ ká máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ wa ló bá ṣe ń ṣe ẹ̀rí ṣùgbọ́n ó dúró nínú òótọ́ you are in truth abiding in the truth kò sí ohun tó bá sọ báyìí ni ó dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ bó ṣe gbọ́ ló ṣe sọ ló wù pé èmi àti wọ́n á wà nínú májẹ̀mú kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìrìn àjò májẹ̀mú rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìrìn àjò Ọlọ́run rí ẹni tí ò ní nǹkan kì í lè fún yàn ní nǹkan tí ò ní nígbà tí Sátánì fẹ́ fi bó ń ṣe tó hàn ó pààyàn pípọ̀ ló lẹ gbogbo àṣírí èèyàn ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbé májẹ̀mú àti ìmùlẹ̀ jáde covenant and confidence it began to with an oath the people began to get confused where is the Lord where is our God where is this was okay ó ní àmì náà Sátánì náà sọ ẹ Dáfídì ló lájà ó sọ Psalm 118 verse 27 only God is the Lord that has light ìyàtọ̀ Sátánì àtọ́lọ́mì kò ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ nínú.
God is the Lord which has showed us light.
Ọlọ́run ni Olúwa tó fi ìmọ́lẹ̀ hàn fún. Tẹ́ bá ti rí Olúwa yẹn ó wá sọ pé
bind the sacrifice with cords even unto the horns of the altar.
but until you see that God there are so many gods. The gods that were created, the gods that were formulated, the gods that were idolized, everything. They were surrounding us. Okay, when you say you are looking for God, the Lord that shows light. When you see that one, bind the sacrifice with cord onto the horns of the altar. As soon as you see light, he said, bring your life as the sacrifice. With love, the cord unto him that went on the cross, the horns of the altar. But when you see no light, don't give your life. Did you see the secret? Yes. Don't just come into covenant until you see the light. When you come to light and you see the light, you are not deceived. Light is about revelation. Because it took God to say, let there be light. Though God was light. Are you getting the thing? Yes. Though he was light. Light was not on the surface of the earth when God was standing until he called it out. It means you can be standing with God and not see the light. Until you come into revelation with him, you can't come to light. I say, God is the Lord that showed us light. Now we have to bind the sacrifice with God. Your life is a sacrifice, your body. Give your body to God, a living sacrifice. Bring your body in love unto God, unto Christ, the horns of the altar. Bind the sacrifice with God, even unto the horns. Did you say horns? Yes. Of the altar. The cross. The cardinal points on the cross is the place of the horns of the altar. May God bless us. Amen. Jehovah. Amen. Jésù Kristi, Holy Michael, adúpẹ́. Nítorí ìmọ́lẹ̀ rí ẹ tó fi hàn wá, kí ayé wa kó lè yẹ fún ìpinnu rẹ̀ gbọ́pẹ́ wa. À ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ rẹ, jẹ́ kó wù ọ́ láti fi ìpinnu ìmọ́lẹ̀ túbọ̀ hàn nínú wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Òtítọ́ rẹ jẹ́ kó kárí ayé.
Àmín lórúkọ
Kí
Jésù.
ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ kó fìdí múlẹ̀.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Ká lè máa yọ̀ ní májẹ̀mú.
Àmín lórúkọ
Láì
Jésù.
àti láyé.
Àmín.
Àmín, àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Méjì.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Májẹ̀mú tó ti bá mi dá má gbàgbé o.